Hello, so good evening, good morning, and good afternoon, whatever time you're watching this right now. We are supposed to actually meet face to face to discuss this topic, but then again, I realized that after making the exam, there will only be 9 items for this topic, and I think we don't have enough time to discuss that's everything that is related to this topic. So I'm just gonna tell you all the basics of what statement of cash flows is all about. So again, this is only yung content ng exam niya is 9 items lang for the finals and everything is theory. So yung problem sa exam will only involve capital investment analysis. Walang problem sa statement of cash flows and sa financial statement analysis. So yeah, let me discuss what is the statement of cash flows. So you might have heard this statement or financial statement back in your first year, second year, or third year, because the statement of cash flows is one of the major financial statements that the accountant the accountant should know how to make. So overview of the statement of cash flows. The statement of cash flows provides information about the cash coming into and going out of a business during an accounting period. Cash flows are classified into one of three categories. We have the operating activities, investing activities, or financing activities. And a separate section also displays any significant non-cash investing and financing activities. So as an overview, ang yung statement of cash flows, ito yung statement or financial statement na nagpo-provide sa mga users of the financial information about all of the cash that is coming in or coming out of the business. So from the word itself, statement of cash flows, kinasummarize niya ang mga cash na niadto sa company or nagagawa sa company. It is a summary of all the cash that is going into and coming into and going out of the business. So let's describe all the three activities. We have first the operating activities. So routine cash inflows and outflows resulting from running a business are reported in the operating activities section of the statement of cash flows. So sa operating activities section, ito yung mga cash flows or inflows resulting from running the business. So mga cash flows or reported operating activities include yung cash receipts from the revenue, yung interest and dividend revenue. Ito cash inflow yun. Yung cash outflow naman here, pa sa operating, we are talking about cash payments for the expenses, including interest expense. So, yung mga ginapagawa sa ito na kwarta to dahil let's say na maligya ta, tapos ang katong gipagawas na to na kwarta, cash outflow yun sa operating activities. Itong mga sale naman po nato, cash inflow yun sa ating operating activities. So, look at Exhibit 14.1. We have the operating activities. We have two methods of making the statement of cash flow. We have direct and indirect method that we are not going to touch that because it would be more complex. Tapos mas mataas pa ang pag-solve if we touch that topic. So, ito lang tayo sa direct method. Cash flows from operating activities, we have cash receipts from customer, $400, and cash payments for expenses, $350. We have net cash flow from operating activities, $50. So, dito sa operating activities, ginasummarize na to kung pila ang net cash inflows or net cash flows. Cash outflows cash inflows minus the cash outflows. Next, we have the investing activities. Again, there are two types of activities that we are going to summarize in the statement of cash flows, three types. We have operating, investing, and financing. Nakapasunod na siya, OIF, operating, investing, and financing. So sa investing activities naman, for business, long-term assets are investments. So cash flows related to acquiring or disposing of long-term assets are therefore reported in the investing activities section of the statement of cash flows. So cash flows reported as investing activities include here, cash receipts or cash inflow from selling the PPEs, property, plant, and equipment, or marketable securities, as well as collections from non-operating credit instruments such as notes or mortgages receivable. So, pag ibaligyan nato itong mga PPE, remember that our PPEs, property, plant, and equipment, are long-term assets, meaning to say, these are investments. So, pag ibaligyan to nato sila, or even the marketable securities, i-report nato na siya as cash flows or cash receipts in the investing activities because those are long-term assets. Minusan nato itong mga income nato from selling PPEs with cash outflows or the cash payments for purchasing PPEs or marketable securities. So let's say nag-purchase tayo ng land, ng building. So kadto siya, pagawas mo tag kwarta kay purchase man siya, mo to siya ang cash outflows sa investing activities. So once again, cash inflow minus cash outflows, you have the net cash flows in the investing activities part. Next, the last activity and the summary sa cash flows, we have the financing activities. So cash flows related to borrowing or short or long term and stockholders' equity are reported in the financing activities section of the statement of cash flows. So, yun na yung mga financing activities na gina-include. First, cash receipts or inflows from borrowing money and issuing stock. So, pag natay, let's say, nangutang tagkwarta, of course, nakadawata, right? Nakautang tagkwarta, so cash inflow. So, deduct na to ang cash outflow if magbayad na to sa atong utang. So, cash payments to repay debt, purchase treasury stock, and pay dividends. So, yeah, again, cash inflow minus cash outflow, that is the net cash flows. So, ito yung reporting format for the statement of cash flows. Cash flows are reported in the following order. Again, in order ni siya, dili siya pwede maghimo mong statement of cash flows, si term kabuagya, dapat pasunod siya or sunod-sunod. First is the operating activities. Next, operating activities, we have the investing activities, and lastly, the financing activities. So in each category, the difference between the inflows and outflows is presented as a net cash inflow for the category. So these net amounts are combined to determine the net change, increase or decrease in the company's cash for the period. So after ma-determine nato ang net cash flows from operating, investing, and financing, ito na silang i-combine para ma-identify natin if there is a net change na by increase or decrease ato ang cash for the period. Kaya kung unsa na siyang cash, ang ending na cash anis ato ang cash flows, musulod na po na siya sa balance sheet. Kibalik, continuous na siya in essence. So yeah, ito yung format niya for statement of cash flows, Exhibit 14.3. Cash flow from operating activities. We have cash flows from investing activities. We also have cash flows from financing activities. The net increase, decrease in cash, plus beginning cash balance, plus ending cash balance, mo reflects sa ang balance sheet. So, but if we touch the topic, sobrang taas na siya. Usually, major medyo major siya na subject if we're talking about accounting talaga. So, let's not touch that part of the statement of cash flows. Look at an example of a statement of cash flow from Sirius XM Radio Incorporated from 4-year period siya from 2005 to 2008. So yung first, net cash flows niya from operating activities, lahat ng operating activities niya na adere yan siya. Kanang gibali i-itemize din mo kung sa itong mga operating activities. Then, cash flow from investing activities next, again, operating, investing, and financing. Then cash flows from financing activities, and then siya net cash flows, cash and cash equivalents at the end of period, so on and so forth. Again, you have to remember there are two types of solving for the statement of cash flows or for solving the direct and indirect method. So yeah, that's just about it. Yun lang yung i-discuss natin for the statement of cash flows because we don't have enough time and this is not really 9 items lang siya sa ato ang exam. So I hope you've learned something from this topic. I hope na ma in the future ma-encounter ninyo ng statement of cash flows, let's say in your professional career soon, professional life, you will have idea na what is a statement of cash flows, unsay na sa statement of cash flows, dito gina-summarize ang mga pagsulod o paggawa sa mga kwarta sa business. So yeah, that ends the lesson for this video. Thank you.